mind.
About to rip your face off.
Welcome everyone, it's time for week 1 of the season 11 Frontline Draft Series. I'm Hail Monkeyman in the booth alongside Quanzek, and I'm filled with as much energy as he has sex appeal, and I hope that you are ready for all of the love and all the good that's gonna happen on the pitch tonight as we get into some fantastic action, starting with the Challenger League. Usually we have 4 matches on Friday nights, but you know what, Quanzek? A little bit of scheduling and a little bit of giving these guys a chance to play it out, and we've only got 3. So we start off with the Aces and the Phantoms, and you were looking through some players and you're looking through some of these teams as we get ready. None of these teams, none of them, at least from what the standings I saw that I thought and think and still believe are most up to date, have played a match as of yet. There's nothing to be able to judge off of them. So what do we think about these squads just from their personnel?
Well, there's a lot, I think, riding on either one of these first rounds for either team. We have Scherer versus Cottony, and there's only so far I can speak towards the Phantoms roster because they're majority new signups outside of Rushi. But I'm expecting the first picks to be definitive of what we see here, because I know Scherer has been in the lab, he's been grinding, he's been working on those mechanics, he's been able to set up in order to propel his team forward with his individual play. But I'm curious as to what we're going to see out of Cottony, because I personally don't have a ton of experience with them, and I think how they play is going to be definitive for how the Phantoms roster is going to style their way of playing, their play style.
And I think Cottony showed a lot of promise, and we did figure out it's not Cotton Eye, it's Cottony, but Cottony, or whichever way you want to say it, showed a lot of promise. I asked them to put Crouton with them, and lo and behold, it happened on the Phantoms roster. So we are going to see if this all turns out correct, but they got Darth Cats, who's playing out there? It's going to be Dubert, Sheer, and Darby. This will be interesting to see how this one ultimately turns out, but you know what? It's time for us to be able to turn it out. Let's get to the main game. Let's get to the one that's going to be true and blue with you. It's going to be the Aces, it's going to be the Phantoms, and it's going to be our kickoff to start off season 11.
And what a great season it's gonna be. Dubert looking for help in the middle, but won't be able to find it immediately. Here's Darby taking it off the hood of Cottony and throwing it into the middle. Nobody's home though. Ace is opting to play a little bit more passive, start things off. It is the very first 30 seconds of season 11, so maybe they don't want to concede the first goal, make that go down in the history books. And they won't do so, but pressure's mounting. Crouton to the backboard. Cottony again to the backboard. They're not able to sneak that one in south of the bar.
That's very unfortunate. There was a big chance for that one to line up just fine, but instead, it will be an extended offensive. The Phantoms actually will be now put onto the defensive half. Dubert left with an open net, but it will be Rushi shooting across from the opposite side post, but now a consistent and persistent push by the Aces. This is their brand new start for this franchise. They're trying to start off with a big fat win. If they can do it on stream, all the better. Sheer in a one-on-one against Cottony. That's going to waterfall down. Darby in a very, very awkward situation, but able to field it just fine.
Here's Darby continuing from his own corner. Cottony's not going to be able to find contact, and Rushi bails him out with the diving save. Still, though, it's Scherer. Shoots left side, saved again by Cottony. Phantoms last second defensive here. Here's Cottony again, forced to make a play on the ball, and he will do so. Dubert trying to keep this in the Phantoms half, and Aces are doing very well, sieging this blue net. Phantoms a little bit awkward here in their corner. They need to get it clear. They need to find some space, and Cottony will do just that. They're still on the ball, but Scherer will play it around them and look to continue here. Here's Crouton towards the backboard. Darby not able to make contact, but just going to give way to Dubert. And now the Aces, after a brief stint on defense, are just going to go immediately back the other direction. It seems like Phantoms can't get anything going here offensively, but Cottony with the brilliant redirect in front of the orange net. Look at the mechanics there in order to place that one into the top of the orange net.
Just a nice little undercut touch to continue that arch, and you see us moving straight into the continuation of this offense from the Phantoms. They're trying to be able to get it straight from the kickoff. The Aces will start in this first half behind. You know what's great to be able to see? We've seen some Cotton style names play on the pitch before, especially in Challenger League, but we haven't seen them play up to this level. Crouton trying to be able to put a threat on net. Darby left with a runaway, but Rushi will collect and use that experience to just keep everyone at bay from the aces.
Uber gets demoed trying to find the clear, but Darby gonna return one on the opposite side of the pitch onto Rushi.
Ooh.
Here's Cher playing in a round one, but he's not gonna be able to get back to that ball. So she's gonna allow Cottony to get a clear, but it's gonna be really just a change of possession into Dubert and the ace's hands. He'll pop it up and look for a bump onto Crouton. Cher's not immediately there for the 50, but he will find it regardless. Waiting patiently on Cottony. And here's Dubert. Banging it back into the blue half, and Heath will take one from the corner, but was expecting that angle to be a little bit sharper than it was. He ended up hitting the left post, and all that effort, it just immediately bounces back on a clear off his own shot.
And still, the aces do have offense in mind. Darby will leap up as Cottony will be able to collect. Dubert's not going to use up too much boost, but it's a big fat miss from the side of the defense of the Phantoms, allowing for an elongated stay. Dubert maybe going to go for a bump, will crease across that backside goal line. Darby again looking for anything that may fall out to them. Aces may lose a handle on, but no, Dubert calls up for reinforcements. Shearer with a half flip just to be able to get back to this touch, but he's unable to get there. Instead, goes for a demo. Oh, and a big miss by Darby. One leap of charge, and it'll be Dubert able to tie us all up at one.
It took 1, 2, 3 people for the aces to get this shot, but they do eventually turn it in, and that's got to be refreshing for the mindset, because they've had so much time in this offensive third, just not able to equate into shots and goals. But there's the first one for this Aces franchise, or rather for this Aces franchise on stream, because I believe their Vanguard team has played a game.
Still there first.
Show, yeah, it's their first one in the record books, which I think is what matters. Their first one recorded for all eyes to see, so it's got to feel good.
Oh, Cottony, lucky. Maybe he thought and knew that one wasn't on target, but leaps away from it. That's a giveaway, but he's gonna actually maintain it. Will that one go forward? No, it's gonna be able to go up the post, and a good steal. Shearer not gonna give any extra chances to the Phantoms as they post up to try and shut down the aces and keep them locked on their own half. Crouton is gonna climb the shaft, see if he can be able to get to that backboard, but instead he is left with extra dressing, and this one is extra zesty. When we put to the side, we've only got 15 seconds left. The pressure's on in game number 1.
Let's see OT for our first game in season 11. Cher trying to make sure that doesn't happen. He'll shoot a short side. Rushi gonna stop for the save, and Crouton in charge of leading this charge out of his half. And Darby just gonna opt to let that one drop. We do have OT in season 11. This may be indicative of how this whole season is gonna go. Cottony with possession, gets a 50 and a demo in the corner, but Darby beats out 2. It's sailing towards the Fam's net. Crouton in charge of save. He'll do so and flick that onto the side wall, but a demo comes out. It's gonna open way for the net. Cher plays it around Rushi, and Aces take game 1 on stream.
And that is just how it crumbles. A big demo gives Shearer an extra chance, and that is the physicality of play that's going to be made in this series. Aces take it early in OT, and that's how game 1 will go.
And this was very much what I was expecting to see of both these teams. It's these first picks leading the charge. We saw Cher attempting shots from a wide range of the Phantoms area and just setting up those plays for his team. But on the opposite end, we saw that brilliant solo play goal by Cottony for the redirect. If they're able to get some supporting cast, be able to play to their playstyle, this should be a very entertaining series, to say the least.
Oh yeah, to say the absolute least of it. I apologize earlier, as I'm trying to make sure that all of our audio is currently working, so appreciate you guys with the patience as we get things moving right along. And I'm gonna check something real quick. Hold on, that's in there. Hey, look at that, I fixed it. Haha. So let's move our way into game numero dos that I will be able to fix up on our lovely little board. Aces take that one in our best of 5, and every series this season will in fact be best of 5. So I hope you're ready for a long one. We do have 3 best of 5 matches to be able to post up going into this. And the Phantoms, this has been a franchise that has struggled a little bit on stream. Sometimes the nerves and sometimes that want to be able to perform does get to you. So we're gonna see how these teams ultimately will be able to stand up. We'll go back into it, and you know, we go back to a familiar place. I forgot to change the maps. I don't care. Let's get into it now.
It's the first series on stream. You've had a little bit of a month break. Don't blame yourself. It's
I blame
all good.
I blame myself every day in a production all the time.
We
All the
like
time.
this map though. It's okay.
Hey, we like the map, just like we like the stock.
The new Neo Tokyo map is rough, but that's
It
a
is.
story for another time.
It is bad. We're not. Yeah, let's not. The great handoff, big pass, and another demo. Sheer is gonna be able to take it, but check out this play.
This is the physicality for the aces. I mean, Sheer just dishes it and immediately hunts for a demo, and that's how they closed out the OT in game 1 as well. This is looking to be a very physical team that's going to look to set up bump and demo plays off of their rotation, and they do so brilliantly there. There's my little keyword, monkey.
Ooh. Yeah. See.
Oh, Conley off the corner, able to turn that one in. That's an immediate equalizer to shut down all momentum for the aces.
That was a great up touch by Rushi, and Cotney just diving for it on the other side. A fast response, and that was what you like to see. Seeing the quickness and ability to make available these passing routes are the Phantoms. If they are going to have to fight through physicality to make their game work, then they're just going to get that much quicker.
Yeah, speed is definitely one way to play around physicality. It's probably the most effective, but they're actually just going to fight fire with fire as Rushi gets a demo in front of the net. It won't turn to a goal, but they will disrupt the rotation. Share a little bit of miscommunication there as he plays it over his own teammate. And Dubert will get beat out by Cotney. This is a shot opportunity for Crouton. Instead, he opts to pass it, but Rushi doesn't want to commit as a third man that would have left his team in a vulnerable situation. And instead, these teams will play ping pong for a little bit as we're a minute through this game.
That was an awkward rotation as you had two in the exact same kind of lateral lane. But it turns out that Aces were all the better for it. As the Phantoms now are going to be on their own back foot. Cotney trying to collect. He will be 50'd, and now will be made available to Darby, who's going to try and go up as he has to dodge yet another demo. Phantoms, you were talking about it, and we were talking about the fire with fire. These guys have gotten so much more physical. They've like, you know what? We're not going to go away. We're going to make sure that we can be able to meet them in the midfield and do exactly unto them as they do unto us. The Aces are doing it with a little bit more in the offensive bank.
Yeah, I mean, Phantoms have realized that they can't demo us if they're dead themselves. But it hasn't exactly amounted anything yet, as the Aces offensive is still coming down. They're attempting these shots from range, and all of them have been saved up to this point, but it's a matter of time before somebody makes a mistake and one of these sails in, or it turns into some sort of juicy rebound as a double commit comes out here on the backboard for the Phantoms. Cotney does well, though, recovers immediately and gets there for the challenge, and that's going to put a stall to this Aces offensive halfway through this game.
Midpoint of game number 2. The Phantoms have been able to keep this even keel, and the Ace is looking for a breakaway and have been a little bit more consistent being able to take these shots, but the Phantoms met them in one-on-one space. Crouton gets there a little bit too soon, and so that's going to turn into a nothing play. But Cotney, on the other side of things, will be able to disrupt. Shearer to the backboard, trying to pancake it, and that one will be stopped! Rushi, a defensive god, able to drop on just in the nick of time.
Aces did all the work, but couldn't beat the third man, and now Rushi just goes coast to coast. He's unchallenged from his net to the orange net, and just has to play it past one, fakes the flick to the right side, and instead plays it low to the left, and beats out Dubert on that play. I mean, that Rushi wasn't touched. It's like he was a ghost out there on the pitch playing for the Phantoms.
I see what you did there. Oh, but Darby is going to be able to find his way through. A bit of an awkward play after Dubert got it on his undercarriage, and it was just Darby climbing the ladder early, facing in a one-on-one. It was the goalie who had to be able to get there. After that clearance never came, sent it lateral, it came right back into the box, and that's something you got to be able to find in transition and in translation. And trying to transition right now, Cotney will be able to keep the Aces from turning this over into a lead, but the passing plays will continue.
Both of these teams have been so good at killing momentum as soon as the other roster grabs it. We've seen immediate equalizers come out from either side. The second that the Aces scored a goal, the Phantoms scored one. The second that the Phantoms scored a goal, the Aces responded. So it's been back and forth, and we could see double OTs through 2 games, shooting 100% for overtime in this series as we're weighing down a minute 15 remaining and no clear leader as the score is 2-2. That is how Rocket League works.
It is, in fact, how it works. If you score more points than your opponent and within the amount of time, then you typically do win. Crouton is going to be underneath Darby, who's already gone sky high. And you see a lot of, maybe not an overt amount, but enough to where the Aces are comfortable sending one man to dive to try and get these strikes. They have a great rotation on their 2 and their 3. Sheer now just putting one on target with a pre-flip. Duper trying to get there in time. Rushi, he's got a full tank of boost. He's going to call up some communication to get someone else another full tank, which will be Cottony. Goes out to the midfield. 1 over, but 1 under will be the Aces. They do not want this one to get away from them here in regulation. We have a half minute to go. Again, the Phantoms are behind in this series, trying to be able to tie it up.
20 seconds remaining for the Phantoms to do so. They don't want their fate to be spelled the same. And Cottony, he's going to make sure that it's not even going to get to overtime. They don't want to tempt fate again. He'll beat out one on the flick, chip it over Cher, and find the bump in the process, and he'll put it into the open net. That's a brilliant solo play of your first round pick. And with 14 seconds remaining, all the pressure's on the Aces.
That is exactly why the Phantoms picked him up. Like, hey, we saw this guy do amazing things in the combines. Why not make it real, make it big? Dubert to the corner. That's going to come out at a 45. They have to dive for it. It's now going to be live. Dubert has an option. D&D, it goes to Dubert, but Darby can't chase after it, and that finds the ground. The Phantoms find their way through, and they find themselves tied as we head into game 3.
The Dungeon Master was not able to find the D&D connection on the Aces roster. They did not have the ace up their sleeve, and despite their 11 shots on net to the Phantoms 3, they couldn't pull out the win. And I mean, you can have all the shots in the world you want, but if you let in every single shot that the Phantoms take onto your net, it's a recipe for disaster. Aces, you're probably not listening to the stream right now. If you are, turn it off. That's bad for your focus. But if you are, the other team being 3 for 3 on shots is not good. Find a save and you should do much better. You have the offense, find the defense. This series is all tied up though. We still have a lot of Rocket League to play. That
is the most efficient game I think we've seen. To be able to get 7 saves, and the rest were just kind of skirting around the exterior, the perimeter of the net, and to go 3 for 3, just the right amount you need to win. Just a beautiful overall outcome for them. So we move our way. Game number 3, and again, reminding you guys, we will be having 3 matches tonight. The first 2 are going to be Challenger. The last one will be Prospect. Usually, this season, we'll be going Challenger, Prospect, Challenger, Prospect. Be able to get that order going. Usually we go Prospect, Challenger, Prospect, Challenger. I wanted to flip it in reverse because why not? For tonight, we're only gonna have 3, so 2 Challengers. After this one will be the Phoenix and the Mob facing off against one another. And then to round out our night, it will be the Bandits versus the Lotus. So we're waiting for Shearer to be able to come back into the lobby. The Phantoms would love to be able to get an on-stream match win, which for some reason is it's typical of their what do you call it, of their franchise that kind of struggle on stream. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's Arc just watching, pressure from the GM dad, stuff like that.
Potentially, Arc is an active GM who tunes into pretty much every stream his team is playing, so that could be a factor. It could just be that they don't do well in prime time. Like,
I can see that.
I don't know, Kirk Cousins in the NFL.
Ooh.
He's notorious for struggling in primetime games, and so maybe that's just the Aces franchise. They can't put it together when all eyes are watching. But they're doing well up to this point. Cottony has been stunting on the Aces and 3 for 3 shooting. Albeit 3 shots is a bit rough, but when you're shooting 100% from the field, I mean, what more could you ask for?
True. I mean, what a time for like the newest players to our series with Crouton and Cottony. A great combo. And going from all that time in the combines on stream now to, you know, prime time on stream, which is great to be able to see because you have your veterans across from them and the new players. Maybe I was hoping that this would be a factor. Maybe all the combines on stream has been able to help them calm down.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I know my first combine ever in Frontline, I was mad nervous because I was like, if I don't do well, I'm not going to get drafted. And like, you have that pressure to do well. So I could definitely see that setting up players for on-stream matches, knowing that there's going to be 50-something odd people watching at least.
At least. You guys that are all hanging out with us right now, remember, we will be doing prediction points available for you guys to bet, because you guys can have a chance at getting 10,000 point raffle tickets that go towards such prizes as, you know, some controllers, some keyboards and mice, and as well as maybe some larger products. So, you know, participate at will and at whim. But of course, the more you watch, the more points you get. Hubert puts it nearby in the box. 4:10 now on the clock, as nearly a minute has burned off, and it's been Phantoms stuck in their haunted house for a good long while. Oh, and that one will skirt from post to post. The Aces you were talking about earlier, they sure know how to put some offense on, but when the breakout happens, they better watch out.
And this is exactly what we're seeing here. Is there's another transition play, find the back of the net for the Phantoms. I mean, all that pressure for a minute plus, and it just immediately comes back. First shot on goes into the back of your net. Either there's two issues here for Aces that are potentially the problem. One, they're overcommitting on offense, where they're frustrated that a goal's not going in, so they're sinking further and further into Phantom's half, and one long clear just decimates them. Or two, they're just getting beat by the transition play that the Phantoms have, being able to go coast to coast that quickly, and they're not able to find a safe or a clear in time. And no matter how much offense you have, if you're just going to let one sink in immediately, you might as well have not burned that time on offense in the first place.
They chip up a lot to threaten the vertical backboard, but there's not been a lot of great shooting for the backboard. A triple commit pinch to volleyball that thing from the back line to the midline. Beautiful. You'll love to see that kind of teamwork out of the Phantoms. But the Aces then play for small ball. They're trying to play for that physicality, see if they can boom it from the outside corners and then find that connection, create some awkward spaces. As long as the Phantoms do not panic, they seem to be well tempered for this one. A good dive as Crouton will be able to find that rotation. A couple of extra demos. Shearer actually is taken off the pitch, and that one was very close.
Darby had an open net to shoot at and just could not rise quickly enough to get over that ball, and instead he hits it from underneath and it sails north of the crossbar. Here's Crouton over the top one. That's an open net for Rushi to shoot at. Again, we've spent 90% of the game in the Phantoms half, and yet the scoreline is 2-0 for the Phantoms. I mean, it's these transition plays and missed touches, capitalizing on opportunities for this Aces roster, and it's buying them back the other way. I mean, I guarantee you, if you look on this game on ball chasing after the fact, possession is going to be 70-30. Like, it is going to be wild, but Aces can't find one to hit the twine in the back of the net.
It is kind of absurd, to be honest. You think about possession, you think about that winning a game, you think about having every opportunity in the world, but it's because their offense doesn't really go anywhere. And like, for all the physicality, for all the demos, which we saw so many, I think we saw a half dozen of them, and that one like 30-second stint before that second goal went in for the Phantoms, we saw them just pushing what they could, but they allow so much extra recovery time, and the Phantoms are maintaining boost. They're not panicking, and they're recovering from each of these touches, trying to go side to side. In the few instances and opportunities to be able to make something work, they just can't be able to get to the shot. We're coming up on a minute and a half remaining here in game number 3, and the Phantoms are in control for however little time they actually need the ball.
Good pro is that Aces actually have saves this game. They have 3 on the board for 6 shots coming out from the Phantoms, but still, it hasn't been enough for the amount of time you spent in the Phantoms half to only be able to put 3 shots on. You need to get the ball towards the net more and have your third in a safer spot to get these transition plays coming out by the Phantoms. Here's Cher on the sidewall, looking to get something going for his team, but not able to get control of that. Instead, it's going to give way to a phantom shot by Cottony in the corner, but that one won't be able to be on target.
This has got to be the most frustrating thing in the world for the Aces. They held on to so much possession, and now they have all of the pressure against them, not only to be able to just get one score, but two against the Iron Curtain that has fallen upon them. Exit stage right may they be. Cotton, it's a fake out, it's a bouncer. Crouton trying to be able to put one through, and Cottony's gonna be set to recover. Darby, it's a pass, it's a chance, and it's just too well telegraphed and read.
The play was there, they just could not be speedy enough to get around the rotating Cottony, who's gonna try one from distance here. That one turned aside by Cher. Dubert with a little pop-up. He's going for a demo, gonna allow Darby to shoot an open net, and he'll do just that. Aces get one just in time for this to be manageable. 12 seconds, you have 2, maybe 3 opportunities as long as you win the kickoff. Or 2, 3 shots, rather. I shouldn't say opportunities, but there's a chance for them to force this one into our second OT of the series, and they win the kickoff.
Oh, Darby's there, but he's getting bumped. Physicality returned in spades, if you will, to the Aces, who are now turned aside. Dubert tries to keep it up. It's going to be floating towards the ground, and that one will hit grass. Phantoms, we head to game number 4, and they're going to have a couple of match points in their back pocket.
Yeah, they broke the Aces' hearts. The Phantoms now have a diamond in their eye, and they're looking to hit the club after this game. They're running away with this one after gaining momentum in the second game. I mean, despite the Aces' momentum and pressure, they still had more shots, and they ended up with a 2-1 scoreline. I mean, Aces, it seems like they know their recipe with what they want to accomplish. Is actually at this point comes down to enacting it and making sure you don't get burned on the opposite end if you're committing so hard for your strategy.
I kind of almost wish we had a, do you remember how like some football fields would be a converted like baseball to football field, like a dual purpose? I kind of
like
wish
old Oracle Stadium.
Yeah, I kind of wish there was like a same conversion of like a baseball slash like pitch in that same capacity, so that we could have, you know, the Aces, like
That'd
Ace
be a
of
really
Diamonds.
cool map.
Yeah. I think it'd be neat. It'd be cool, but you know, regardless, we find ourselves with the Aces behind a couple hands. They're gonna need to talk to the dealer and see if they can, you know, talk them up nice. See if they can make a few extra bets, because the Phantoms, it has been a full house. They've been loving it ever since.
Yeah, Aces need to just start counting cards at this point, because no matter what they try, whether they hit, stand, double up, it's just not happening for them.
Are you a big poker guy?
I am a big poker guy.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing I will ever gamble with, but I actually do have some winnings through poker, so.
Okay, all right. You definitely sounded like you're a big poker guy. And taking their chances is Cottony on an easy flick and go.
Yeah, Cottony. I mean, he'll shove the Aces defender out of the way and just say, hey, no, this is my ball. You attempt to save this, but you're not going to be able to, as I'm going to shoot far side away from you. And Cottony doesn't want to tempt fate with a game 5. He's just going to run away with this one. He's attempting a second goal.
Wow.
Dubert gets a save on the goal line, but Cottony's there to dunk him immediately. And this is an early 2-0 lead for an Aces roster that has struggled to get through the Phantoms defense.
Oh, that one was gonna come out, but what a tumble, turn, and go by Cottony. My man, Challenger League. He is setting the standard here. That guy, oh, what a pickup. But physicality, oh, is not gonna be king this time around. Shearer will get a second demo. The respawns will come through, but the timing will not, as Cottony is trying to turn in a third. He gets an early push, but he's unable to get any kind of bump. He still sets up a great offensive attempt and stand for the Phantoms to maybe set up for their third potential goal.
Oh, this is a chance here. It's a 2-on-1, and oh, Darby's gonna hit the post on the shot. He beat Crouton, but he wasn't able to find the angle on the net, and that golden opportunity is gonna fall to the wayside for the Aces. Here's Rushi to the backboard. Cottony trying to find his hat trick a minute and a half into this one. That one won't be able to find the back of the net, but still, Phantoms are closing in. That's a chip to the middle, and Rushi's gonna be there to find the goal off of Crouton's pass. Aces just look lost right now. They aren't able to find the touches to contest the Phantoms whatsoever.
Rushi, my old man, coming through and able to just exist in a great space between two fantastically new players coming into the Frontline Draft Series. Season 11 treating him right. He's got a crown from a previous season of winning. He's trying to be able to ride maybe for another already, as week 1 has shown off and shown out for these players right here. Crouton's gonna drop it, give it over to Dubert, but it's Cottney's gonna go to the backboard, to Darby out to the midfield, but that's a loss of possession. It's a giveaway to the Phantoms to just continue this plight. Cottney will actually miss an attempt. Shearer will have an opportunity. We are only at the midway mark of game number 4, but the Aces just cannot maintain what they gained going upfield.
Yeah, they still have some time, but they're gonna need to get something going soon, and this isn't it. Scherer, I mean, had the right idea, but he sends that flick way too high, and it's so far elevated that his teammate can't get there. He's forced to find a touch off his own backboard, and that actually works out well for the Aces. This one's gonna fall to Scherer, but he'll get beat out by Cottney. Here's Darby, rising to the occasion. Not too much power behind that touch, though, and Cottney goes under Dubert. Scherer beats 2, however. But still, though, there's always that solid, strong third man for the Phantoms to disable any sort of attempt that Aces are trying to generate in their half.
I am bewildered. I know that Cottney now is going to be vying for MVP on the season. That's just already a guy to be able to look and stare at. But I am flabbergasted that all of the Aces offensive that we saw early on in this series has just disappeared. Cottney's got his hat trick. He comes in hot, and it's 4-0 in game 4.
Yeah, Phantoms have done a really good job adjusting. I think I couldn't tell you what exactly they've changed on. I think it's their midfield presence. They're making sure to shut down the Aces before they can establish a stay in their half. If they're shutting down any sort of touch in the midfield exactly there. Dubert tries to play it over Roos. Roos challenges. Now Scherer tries to play it past them, but Crouton's there. They're doing a good job of challenging at the point of contact for the Aces, and so the Aces can't set up in their half, and everything's just falling flat. And with a minute 20 left in this game, this is looking like a probable 3-1 for the Phantoms.
Minute 15 to go. Aces been playing down a hand and been playing with someone else's chips. They are now completely in debt to the house. 60 seconds coming up. And the Phantoms just have to maintain this pressure. 4-0. This is the best way to start your season, with some dominance. Ark has to be feeling good about the squad he picked up for the Challenger League. He's getting to see product of some good research, and of course getting some great players. 40 seconds coming up, and I don't believe that anything's gonna change too much here unless we have some late-term theatrics.
Yeah, it's gonna have to happen now. We're nearing, it's gonna have to be a goal every 8 seconds, and as we get closer and closer, it's, whoa, that was almost one. It almost snuck in down off the bar, but I mean, it's getting more and more dire, and with 15 seconds remaining, I'm gonna say this one's not happening. As much as I would like to have hope, Aces just can't turn one in, no matter how hard they try, no matter what random bounce they get. It's just hitting every post imaginable. And this is just a good series played by the Phantoms. We saw the Aces playstyle. The Phantoms adjusted moving into game 3. And that was the turning point. I mean, they went 1-1 game 2. It could have gone either way, but game 3 was the real change. We saw the adjustments that they made. And game 4, this squad just showed exactly what they're capable of. Ark looks like you have a really good roster for this Challenger League. I'm excited to see what they can do. And Aces, I mean, the plan is there. It just comes down to figuring out a way to adjust after the other team has adjusted.
They came out in a vicious streak, an absolute, like, just monstrous run to start things off. And honestly, with the way the Aces started, I thought this was going to be Aces all the time. I truly did. And then all of a sudden it was not. It went the other direction. The Phantoms just took control. And I mean, I don't think we can tout any less what Cottony was able to do. That guy, a fierce competitor, and a lot of people, they've got to be put on notice. You cannot ignore. But maybe I'm speaking too much of it. Am I just too much of a highlight loving fool, or did Cottony really provide to be that big of a factor?
I don't think so. Cottony definitely flashed, and that is maybe one way you attack this team, because Cottony, I think, he's going to be able to have the solo plays, but he was also involved in just setting up a lot of rebound or assist opportunities for his team. So maybe shut down Cottony, you shut down the Phantoms. We'll see what level Roosh and Crouton are able to play at. But no, I think you're just in the praise that you're giving to Cottony for sure.
For once, I'm not overdoing it. Yes, that's all I wanted to be able to hear. All right. And we're going to be able to set up for you guys to get ready for our next matchup. It's going to be another Challenger League matchup, and it's one you don't want to miss. It's the Phoenix and the Mob. Two squads that, you know, they've got Big Rick, and they've got a big shtick in the background for the GM. But we'll be able to figure out which one will do better right after this.
Swear I felt relief, a shred of pure catharsis. Behind the gates you keep, a shelter from the darkness. So hopeless, I know this could be the end. I'll fight till you break down and let me in. I'll fight till you break down and let me in. 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 Break down and let me in.
Yes, so them right now. Pegboard nerds monster have you locking at the sound. All of the gal I go passing when me boy I go drop them a coming. Murdering. Me a the burning fire and natural born killer. When me bust into flame, watch out some might sting. You better turn it. I am make the bad boy bigger. When they come around, we all go on them. Listen to the word and the fire you cut in the middle. When the flames catch higher, put up your gun fingers. Return all of the fire. It's a bad man signal. Give a sign. And pull your gun finger trigger. Gun finger trigger. Gun finger trigger. Gun finger trigger. Return all of the fire. It's a bad man signal. Give a sign. And pull your gun finger trigger. And pull your gun finger trigger. And pull your gun finger trigger. It's a bad man signal, give a sign. And pull your gun finger trigger.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for match number 2 of the evening for the Frontline Draft Series. Season 11 has already started off with a bang, and the Phantoms did the exact same over the Aces, who suffered their first franchise loss, at least in Challenger League. We go now to a tale as old as a few seasons ago, whenever the Phoenix came to life as those Firebirds. And, you know, Quanzek is the Phoenix versus the Mob. It's going to be a wonderful one for the new, I guess, kids on the block. One old, one new. Viron was a big pickup, a first pickup for the Phoenix. And I think a lot of people are looking at, hey, is he truly going to be that massive, massive carry that all of us had expected him to be? But Abyssalon on the other side of things will be really interesting to kind of check out. I don't think we can discount, though, what this Phoenix squad is bringing to the table.
Oh, not at all. I mean, both these teams are very well-rounded. And what I've seen up to this point, contrary to the first match we saw, this one should be much more definitive on the second and third men than it is otherwise. I think Viron is going to be a phenomenal player, and I think the same can be said about Abyssalon. But I think the strength of the 2 and 3s on both these rosters are better than the previous ones, and so I'm expecting much more fluidity between these teams. High and Asher, as well as the Bowie's dad and Riki on Mob, should be huge in terms of what they're capable of, and with regard to their placement and how they basically what they're able to bring to the table for their team. I think it should be a bigger contribution than what we saw in the previous series.
I know that a lot of these guys, it seems like we have a lot of Mob Syndicate fans. These guys are out there in mass trying to be able to cheer for him. So, you know, give us your praises in the form of putting your money where your mouth is for your fandom. Make sure you are risking it all for that prediction, which is going to tick down in just a few seconds of time. Do you think Bowie's dad is going to be able to carry all this? Well, make sure you put some dad bucks down up in there. And all you got to do, go and, you know, take a little bet. Take a walk down the risky side of things, and you can maybe get yourself a chance towards 10,000 points towards a raffle ticket for a giveaway that we're going to be doing at the end of the season. So, you know, put it all out there. I bet you guys are right. Rushi's coming in off a big win, and he says that he is right. So we're just waiting. I kid you not, we are literally just waiting on the Mob, which you guys are like, oh my God, the Mob. Where are the Mob at?
In here.
They ain't showing up. Where they is? Because, you know, if they don't show up, oh, there they are. All right, it took a minute. All right, they fashionably late. That's what they like to do. They show up when they want to. All right, that's cool. That's cool. All right, well then, you know what?
A job or something.
It's all right. It's as if the Mob got a job. So, Mob of the Phoenix, blue and red. It's gonna be all these guys. So let's see how this all turns out. Quanzek, take it away.
Alex into the corner. Here's gonna be high chasing this one down. He's just gonna clear it, give his team a little bit of breathing space. Riki, part of the MSU mob that we have in Frontline. It's gonna be high out into the middle, but this one's dangerous. Riki will find possession, but not the shot. And Viron tries to go under Abyssalon, but not able to sneak it quite under that Dominus frame. High takes a solid 50, and it's gonna be left to Alex to find a touch on the corner. He'll do just that. Lots of very quick back and forth coming out, and what a cut by Alex! High though with the diving save. I mean, this pace of play is so unlike every other game one I've seen. Typically, I mean, both these teams are just immediately going at each other's necks.
They are coming out quick. They want to be fast, they want to be visceral, and they want to be making a show out of everyone on the opposite end. Viron, there's a lot to be looked at. Everyone said, hey, he's the #1 guy. There's a reason, and we got to see if it's because of this. It turns into a demo. High. He couldn't be higher as that one goes in low, but it's off a big fat demo.
High gets the credit, but Viron gets the assist, and he actually didn't even get credit for the assist. He carried that all the way into the Mob corner, dropped it off, grabbed the boost, immediately hunted for a demo, and it was purely off of his play that they were able to turn that one in. And Abyssalon a little bit awkward in net now. Viron bounce shot goes off the post. Second opportunity, Asher bottom right. Phoenix early to a lead, and This is looking spooky for the mob fan base in chat.
It is a little bit, I was looking, Asher flashing the Dignitas skin and trying to make his organization proud with a great extra play to be able to stick with it. So with a minute and a half coming up in game number 1, you were asking for these teams to just play fast off the rip, and they've done that, but it's been the Phoenix that are starting to take in that aces type mentality, all offense all the time. And I want to see how that will continue now, as the mob will try to be able to give themselves a chance to recoil, recoup, recover. But Asher with a great turn. Abyssalon has to flick it up and gets it out from the pipes.
Abyssalon diving save. He's able to find a flick into his own crossbar to keep that one out. Here's a pass towards Alex and turns into a team pinch back their own direction. Either first round pick now, battling in the corner. Abyssalon gonna take his time, gain possession. Veron gets a demo and Asher gets a demo. That's gonna open up so much space here for Phoenix to operate with, but it really just gets turned over by High. Asher challenges off the giveaway, and this is a 50 that's gonna float out towards the left side of the pitch. Riki, good 50. This one's actually gonna be on target, but Veron gonna turn it aside.
I want to know if there is a bird club, because we see caw kind of everywhere, and I'm seeing that now kind of all over the place. I feel like there's a whole flock of birds. These guys just trying to caw their way into Rocket League. I feel like that's a thing. Some of you are out there cawing at me, so let me know if that's an absolute thing. I have no idea. You guys are creative and fun, but regardless, Veron waiting on Riki, who's one of our MSU dudes coming out of their club. High trying to be able to set up. It's an awkward bouncer, and what a great touch to get a third one to the Phoenix. Talk about this one.
This is exactly what I meant by the 2 and 3 doing more. Look at this pass by High. He gets the double touch off of the sidewall, floats it up perfectly in front, and Asher does well, just tracks that one down, puts it into the top right. That is a textbook play, but the assists for Phoenix have been absolutely incredible this game. Veron got one early with the credit, and that double touch pass by High. I mean, this is a team that's going to be looking to set up a lot of playmaking opportunities, and they're doing just that. And they're looking good while accomplishing exactly what they're setting out to do.
Abyssalon was the first round pick for the mob. They're trying to be able to get more involved, but Riki, as he extends the pitch, has no extra boost, and we've seen some resource management issues come up early. This will be a dime and a dart as it goes straight in and makes this a reasonably within competitive distance game.
Alex flashes the speed there, is able to beat out Asher to the pitch and takes a blazing shot towards the back of the net. And this is exactly the time period where you want that first goal to come, because with over a minute remaining, you have that hope. For some reason, if it's sub a minute, you're like, oh, there's no time. Even if it's like 101, you're like, oh, there's time for us to come back. And so they got that goal at the right time. It's going to give them a little bit of mentality boost, as the second one is almost able to sneak in, but they're going to have to get something going quickly here on the offense. They're setting up the stay, but they need more shots on target in order to generate 2 goals.
See, I know exactly what you're talking about, though. It's the same. Oh, but a chance. Abyssalon's gonna climb the ladder quickly. It's the same thing as, oh, $1.99 or $2. Ew,
Yeah.
$1.99. Yes. Like for some reason, like one little penny, one little second is all the difference. But mentality is what makes this game beyond its mechanics. And of course, if you can get everyone confident on your squad, then everything's doing just fine. Abyssalon is gonna backflip to be able to maintain possession. He's in a one-on-one against Veron. He will lose it to Veron, who puts it to the side wall. Riki to the back one, as Veron will get a bouncer. A great challenge, stays patient with it, and the cross cut will never come. We have 10 seconds to go, and that timer will count down way too quick. The mob got in a hole. They're gonna have to dig their way out of it going to game number 2, but game 1, burn bright, burn hot for the Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix came out strong. They set up a few good team plays, and that was all she wrote. I mean, there were 2 good assists that you can point to specifically that were the difference makers in this game. And that was, I mean, there's really nothing else to be said there. Phoenix played better as the collective unit. Maybe it's on stream nerves, who knows? But a good first game from Phoenix. You can see there's inklings there of what the mob can capitalize on. But Phoenix just played like the better overall squad in this game one. Still plenty of time though. We saw what it looked like for Ace's last series, and look how that turned out.
True. That is very true. A flash, a spark is only going to be as good as how much extra oxygen and how much you feed it. So you got to be able to be consistent and build that fire over time. We've got game number 2 ready to move in for you guys, and appreciate you being with us tonight. There are 70 plus of you, 60 plus at least, hanging out with us and getting to see the wonderful beginnings of season 11. A bouncer as Abyssalon's going to try and extend this offensive play, and the mob is hanging around a little bit longer in the offensive half than they were in game number 1. An awkward miss, and Abyssalon can't get there. Can Alex? No, a chance by the wayside.
Phoenix get away with murder there. That one definitely should have been turned in. Abyssalon just, he needs a longer car than the Dominus. Maybe switch to the Batmobile because he stretched as hard as he could but could not make contact. He will attempt to find a 50 here, instead gets the demo. And that ball's gonna fall to Riki. He'll try to play it under Veron, but Veron does well with his positioning there. Although fumbles the follow-up touch, and now it's gonna be Alex in a 3v1. Left on an island is High, but he commits at the right time, and now it's a transition play. Riki bumped off, High takes the shot, and that's gonna not sink in.
What?
Both teams get away with murder. High hit the one part of the post where he couldn't score or get the rebound. And we've had brilliant opportunities for either roster that haven't gone into the back of the net.
Oh my goodness. And just, you think when you send numbers that you're gonna get it, and both sides, extra chance, extra time, doesn't play into their hand. High looking to be able to center it up. That's gonna come off the sidewall. Veron, does he leap early? Yes, he does. Trying to be able to undercut and intercept is the mob, but we are still at zeros, which is a great time for the mob at this point, because last time around they were down at least by 2. Is the Phoenix trying to be able to posture the way up. High to the corner. Veron will be called, but he's up just a little bit too soon. That puts Asher in a one-on-one awkward position. Great pass, great touch, great finish. Abyssalon will open us up 1-0 for the mob.
Mob returning their own team plays back towards the Phoenix. I mean, Riki just does well outweighing the jump there by Asher. The second Asher left the ground, it opened up the passing lane for Riki. He was just patient. He was outweighing the defender. And the second Asher commits to a jump, it's an easy pass to your man in the middle. 1-0 lead mob.
Oh, but you cannot give the Phoenix this time! Asher with a little touch, a little toop to be able to get behind this ball. Everyone leaps. Alex comes out early, and it's free real estate on some sand, tied up in a hurry.
Yeah, that's you want that property, because who knows how many millions of dollars that beachfront property is going to be worth. I mean, rent-free, double commit coming out from the mob, and that's just going to be an easy capitalization opportunity for Phoenix. Here's Abyssalon flicking over one. High. Awkward is going to find the 50 from a backwards position, and Alex won't be able to find the follow-up, so it's going to fall in Veron's car, but Abyssalon challenges early. I don't think... Oh, what a fake by High. I don't think Veron was expecting that. High puts Abyssalon on skates in turn, and there's a save coming out from Mob's own roster. I don't know if they would have had the save going the other way, but it doesn't matter. I can't throw it to you, Monkey. There's so much action. Alex puts it in bottom right.
Look, I can't blame you, because there was a tackle, someone tapped it, and it just kept going wrong for the Phoenix, and right for the mob. Their rotation was like, look, we're glad we're not in that box. We sent one man, it got a little weird, and we're out here minding our business, except for when we get a dart in and take a strike. And the mob reassert themselves on the scoreboard and in a lead, but it's still been the Phoenix that have been able to take these just much shorter field trips. We looked at it earlier. This is nearly textbook what happened to the Aces in the previous series.
Yeah, I mean, the second I was like, yeah, Phoenix looked good.
Oh no!
Yikes. This one definitely is gonna want that one back. I mean, that was an absolutely nuts shot. It was just unfortunately going the other way. Look at that redirect. Like, he
that was
flipped at
good.
the perfect time to get so much speed on that. Abyssline, you're nuts. Just do that on the orange net, and you'll have much better results, I promise you. Anyways, the intermission between game 1 and 2, I was like, yeah, like, they look like the aces, and I was like, oh wait, aces lost.
Yeah, that's exactly what you should be thinking. But there's been a few follies committed by the mob defensively, you know, that one more recent, and a second time that the Phoenix now have allowed this one to skirt right across that backline crease. You've got to be concerned for both halves, or both sides right now. Defensively, kind of scatterbrained. Gotta calm down. They're playing with speed, and the Phoenix right now have been able to tie it up off of some, you know, inconsistencies out of the mob, but the mob have been able to posture up a little bit stronger. We get to see who will find maybe that final little bit of focus in this last minute of play. I am high. We'll be able to do just that.
Yeah, Mob fumbled the bag again on defense here. Bissalon goes for the ball and is not able to make contact, and it leaves Riki in a desperate position. He needs to go for that ball on the backboard, which he does, but he's not able to make contact. Open net for Phoenix to capitalize on, and they do take the lead. With how fast-paced this series has been, there's going to be so many open gaps and chinks in the armor for either one of these teams. I mean, this is an offensive showing as Varane finds the pass, or finds the shot off of Asher's pass, but a save comes out. With how speedy this game is being played, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for either side, and with 30 seconds remaining, Mob need to find one of those.
Aber waiting for a reactionary touch, and then they find an open gap. Abyssalon's trying to track down Viron. It's gonna be Riki to the opposite half. Viron has enough boost. It will go behind him. It's awkward trying to throw the cross back approach. Abyssalon, sidewall, high up high makes the read, but there's no one to be able to put it on target. Alex cannot collect. Viron will put it towards net side. One more chance for the mob to not go down two and play for the reverse sweep, and it ends up being a double commit. Abyssalon to the backboard. High to the opposite side corner. Oh, and it will find the floor anyway. Phoenix up 2-0 and a match point into game 3.
Honestly, though, this was Mob's game to lose, because the goals coming out from Phoenix were a double commit, a whiff on the backboard, and then an own goal. None of them, I mean, yeah, Phoenix still looked good while doing it, and they set up a few opportunities of their own, but none of the goals that they turned in were like, oh, like they made that happen. It was more so Mob making an unforced error.
Right.
And so that's something, if Mob is able to adjust, they played better than they did in game 1. So maybe they're reaching a point where they're crossing that threshold of we're not playing how we should be, or they're figuring out how to adapt to this Phoenix team. Whatever the case is, they're making steps towards it. They only have 5 more minutes left to adjust. Otherwise, it's series over.
Mob really was their own worst enemy in that game, and also their greatest ally. But Phoenix also presented a couple of chances for the Mob to pounce, to really just take advantage, and I think both teams were just in that mode. It was simply the Phoenix that did it a little bit faster, a little bit sooner, and punished what the Mob presented to them. But also, Abyssalon, one hell of a redirect, man. That was great. I couldn't do that on purpose. So we move into game number 3. Phoenix, a great position to be able to put this one away if they want to. The Mob, as long as they posture up just like they did in game number 2, they'll be just fine. Gotta play patient, gotta play focus throughout the entirety of these next 5 minutes.
Phoenix currently digging themselves in a hole. Couple of lifts that came out, left them on no boost, but they do find a clear, and Riki backflips. It's gonna open the door for a shot, and Varane shoots that short side. Abyssalon wasn't expecting that. He postured his car to cover the rest of the net, and Varane shot in the one spot Abyssalon couldn't flip to. I mean, brilliant transition play, but that one shouldn't be going in if you're Mob. You just need to find a touch, and a backflip and a missed position by Abyssalon is going to be the difference there.
Backflips are just the worst, especially when you think, all right, I'm just gonna kind of double jump. I'm gonna get elevated and see what I can do with it. Instead, nope, becomes your worst enemy and an absolute nightmare. Abyssalon, though, playing patient. Yeah, a little half pop as High will overrun Viron, who I think came up a little bit too soon, trying to play with speed, and he didn't have anything in the boost canister. So gotta wonder about that. That's a passing opportunity that will drop to Asher. This goes sidewall, no further mob squad members nearby. Abyssalon will intersect and interject as Asher and company. Everyone slowly just stealing possessions and touches from one another, but in a very awkward way. In Abyssalon, he's like, you know what? Let's just take a hit. Let's take a strike. Let's put it on net.
Yeah, Riki, or Alex rather, fakes out the defender, and that just opens Abyssalon to shoot here. That game slowed down considerably after that first goal. We were playing at a much slower pace, and it definitely worked out in Mob's favor. So they got the goal. They were in control of the ball. If they're able to slow down this game after what we just saw, they should be very comfortable moving forward. They just need to be able to get possession and dictate how this game is going to go with that possession, because at the second that game started to slow down, Phoenix started to make mistakes.
I'm gonna be curious what team is gonna feel like they can open it up when it comes to faster rotations, because what we've seen happen quite a few different times by both sides is simply a matter of not even a great risk, but the open space play with the ball has just been free, rolling around on the grass, in the pavement, whatever you want to call it. And just kind of waiting for the ball to come to your half as if you're actually playing ping pong. And it's turned into issues where you're not advancing as quickly as you want to. If these guys half rotate maybe once every other or every third, then they will be able to find such great chances, be able to just turn around and strike on their opponent when they're still recovering to their net. So I gotta wonder who's gonna maybe step up to the plate and do that sooner. Viron is gonna try now, as he's left with a lot of time to just bounce around with the ball.
Yeah, you're 100% right with that analysis there, Monkey. And we do need to take, we need to give ourselves a grain of salt with most of these takes, because it is the first week of a draft league. So there should be a lot of rotational changes that are coming in the coming weeks. But you're 100% right. If they're able to work that in now, they'd have massive success. Shot coming out from Asher. That's gonna be a pinch all the way down. Oh my gosh, that thing had some heat behind it. It actually turned into a shot on the opposite corner. Luckily, High was there to ward it off. Asher, free touch. He's looking for High, who will find the redirect off the corner, looking back to Asher, but Riki's there for the save.
And you're right. Okay, I'll give them a grain of salt. I'm acting as if these teams have been together for the past month and a half, where it's literally been what, a max of 5 to 6 days. So okay, I'll give it to them. But as that confidence does bloom for all these players, and as their callouts get faster, as these rotations get quicker and more efficient, we're gonna see that kind of ferocity be able to get spelled out. But we've only got 65 seconds now coming up on the clock, and the Phoenix and Mob still locked up at 1. As long as neither side gives up anything easier for free, we're gonna need some physicality and maybe get ourselves into an OT. Viron looking for the redirect. He puts it. Oh no! The crossbar will be his worst enemy.
Viron did everything right besides maybe getting a foot higher with this car. I mean, he found the angle. It just snuck off the crossbar. High though, trying to redeem his teammate. Asher gets the touch in the corner. Viron just trying to play speed and keep possession, but Alex is going to be the first one there off of his pass attempt from the backboard. Here's Riki. 20 boost and a dream off the ceiling. He has his flip, but he's just going to save it. Didn't think he could get back to that ball. And instead, High in the corner, forcing a 50. Abyssalon crushes him. He's hit the gym. And now it's Asher on a 50, trying to get a bumper demo. A little bit awkward for the Mob. They're just trying to force OT at this point, because it's been Phoenix in their half for a minute now. Viron can't find the double. Alex finds a clear, but this ball is still up at 0 seconds. Let's see if we get OT. Riki opts to let it drop. We do have overtime in game 3.
Do you get swept, or do you extend the series? Mob trying to do the latter, and the Phoenix trying to enforce the former. Viron, it's gonna be top shelf. Will he hang around for it? Gonna grab that big boost, come out of the corner, looking for a bump now, but Alex with a great clearance. Abyssalon will backflip and rotate away as Alex will stick around on this sidewall. Asher with a back pass over to High, I'm High, and Alex now trying to retreat. Caw goes the bird, nevermore was it heard. Abyssalon trying to be able to put this one nearby. It's in an awkward spot, and it was an opportunity. Alex trying to make it a second. The first minute of play slowly burning down.
Abyssalon in charge of getting this ball out of his half. He's looking for a pass, positioning himself on the sidewall. It doesn't come, and for commit, and we're in a Rule 1. That was a wild sequence there, but there's a Rule 1 in front of the mob net. I think that plays worse for the mob because they have to avoid that in order to make a save. It's Riki and Asher. High, I'm High. Finds a touch towards the backboard. Abyssalon gets a touch, but this is dangerous. Veron's up. This is on. It's crossbar down and out. It hits the post, and he pull shots Alex into the ball for the goal. That's going to be a sweep for the Phoenix in the wildest manner possible.
8-ball, corner pocket. Alex trying to go up and doesn't want to go down like that. The Phoenix will go 3-0, and what a wild turn of events and way to be able to get that W. Congratulations to them taking the series, but man, you gotta feel like Mob were able to slowly keep pace with them, but look at this difference when it comes to the shooting. 9-2. That cannot stand, and that cannot get you to the promised land if you don't get out of your own half.
Yeah, I mean, there were flashes there, but Phoenix are definitely, they look like the better team through week 1. Mob, their recipe, I believe, was there. They're missing the key ingredient right now. I'm not sure what that is, but they have some time to figure it out. Yes, it's a stream match. Yes, you lost, but there's still plenty of time left in the league. It's only the first week. And while this game was technically a sweep, I believe every game was a 1-goal game. And so you take from that what you will, but props to the Mob. They played a good series. It's just those refining touches that need to be made for them.
Who needs to be able to step up a little bit more in that game, and then on either team, to be even better for the Phoenix or to get to that prominence for the side of the Mob? Because we saw kind of go up and down, but did Abyssalon do enough as that first pick for the Mob?
I think Abyssalon did. There were a few touches that he would have liked to have back, but I think Abyssalon did do what was expected of him. I think he matched Veron well. I really, and this is, people are gonna hate this in the chat, so I apologize. But I think the person that I want to see more out of from the Mob is Alex. I think Riki was playing his role, he was doing his thing, and he was setting up those plays, but I wanted to see more out of Alex with regard to his function in the team. It just felt like it was Riki and Abyssalon, and Alex was kind of off step there. But that'll come with time. Don't hate me. That's my take. I apologize. I know there's a lot of fans out there, but
it's a solid take.
2 cents on the matter.
Look, it's a good take. Sometimes an honest take won't be the most popular take. And you know what? You guys can @Quanzek, literally @Quanzek on Twitter or wherever you want, in the Discord as well. So you can go find him and hunt him down. It's okay. I will do nothing against it. But, you know, I don't make the best ones either, and quite often everyone says, Monkey, you are an idiot, and I accept that. That's who I am, and you will love me for it. We will love you guys to be able to stick around with us. We've got one more match to go as we get ready for our Prospect League to showcase between the Bandits and the Lotus. Stick with us. Back in just a little bit.